which tournament do you wish you could have won and why? And which pro, past or present, have you not played that you want to?
I think the tournament that I wanted to win the most was Nationals, and I never really came close. I played like 7 or 8 times, and I was like, 6-1 or 5-1 after day one a few times, and like lost playing for top 8 maybe once or twice. But I just think that would be cool to be like the national champion and representing your country at Worlds, which no longer really happens. Like they have the Magic Cup, so I guess I still kind of have a shot. That kind of be like the same thing, but just being able to say like you're the champ for a year seems awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think we can all sympathize with hoisting the trophy and the colors there.
As far as the second part of that, which pro have I not played that I wanted to? I played Kai, but he wasn't in his prime, and I played Finkel also when he wasn't in his prime. So I don't know. I think it would be awesome to play back in those days, like against a really scary opponent.
Sure. Especially
back when Magic didn't really have the internet, and those tournaments were a lot harder. So probably like one of those two guys, or like Bob Maher, just also very terrifying.
One of the myths, as it were.
Yeah.
We've got Kenny Hughes with a standard question for 4-color. He wants to know what you'd suggest to do against heavy aggro environments with 4-color control and standard.
Yeah, he says that my deck seems to fold hardcore.
Yeah,
but
I thought that was where we liked it.
Yeah, that is where I like it. The control matchups are actually the ones that are tough. Illusions and humans can be tough because they have Moreland on, but you have enough answers. Like Pristine Talisman is pretty good against them.
Sure.
I just posted a thing on my Facebook fan page, actually. I 3-1 a couple daily events last night with a somewhat updated version of that deck. I just wanted to try a bunch of like cool, crazy cards. I had some Chandra the Firebrands, Grand Abolisher, and One-Eyed Scarecrow in the sideboard. So the Scarecrows were pretty good.
Were they?
MJ absolutely hates them. He thinks I'm stupid for playing them. But I played against a human deck, and it just, bricks like his Abolisher and Relic Warder and stuff. Like they kill your Talisman, you play a Scarecrow, and it just shuts off like so many of their cards. Like it's actually pretty good.
Especially Haunt, obviously.
Yeah, that is the big one. It does make the Relic Warders a little bit better, but those were so good against you already when you had Talisman and O-Ring, so...
let's go back to our list here. We've got another one from Carlos Morale. How do you feel about Modern as a format? Legacy filled extended its gap long ago for the community, so where are we going with it?
I don't know. Some of these things I wish I could just be like present during the WotC meetings and see what they have planned out, because it seems so interesting to release Modern as a format. I know Extended was basically like a flop.
Sure.
But it seems good. Like Modern is more accessible than Legacy. So it makes sense that Modern would be a PTQ format or even a Pro Tour format, because people are going to want to tune in and see the Modern deck list and people playing Modern more than Legacy. So I think like Modern's never going to replace Legacy, because they're still like the Star City Games Open Series, always playing Legacy. Legacy has a huge following, but it's like not sustainable for a PTQ format. And I think Modern is a good fit for that. I always loved playing Extended. I know a lot of other people did too. So
okay. I think one of the things, especially with Modern, also is I think Wizards likes to see what people like. Actually,
yeah.
I think we take a lot of people, take for granted that they know everything that's going to happen or what they're doing, but I think a lot of it is really unpredictable, and they just want to see what you guys are into.
Yeah, I agree with that too, and I know that they don't know everything, but I want to see where their head is.
You're wondering what they're thinking, like if they like this, what they'll do next.
I'm not sure if something like Modern was like an experiment, or if they're just like, oh, we know this is going to work.
I think they have probably some kind of, maybe not direct, but like a loose, like flowcharty kind of system of ideas. Right now, like in this circumstance, this should happen.
And that's what I want to see. I think that'd be really interesting.
Lucky Martyr 1. What is your opinion on the last set of the block being a big set and drafted by itself?
I think it's genius.
Yeah, I actually am a big fan of that.
Like you take a format like Scars of Mirrodin, and you have to draft like triple Scars. Towards the end, it gets kind of boring. And then you get like one new pack per draft, and it changes it a little bit. And then like the third set is probably like the most fun you have, because it's like you're seeing the most new cards, and it gets more interesting, and you don't get to draft it for very much. So I think just like get rid of that Scars pack, make a new format, draft that. It's like you get to play like more new different formats per year. And I think outside of releasing like a 5th set a year, which honestly doesn't seem like that bad of an idea, but I think it's great.
Yeah, I've always been a fan. My favorite formats have usually been like the 1-2.
Yeah.
Like before the third set gets in. I've always liked those formats because that's a lot different from all 3-1.
Yeah.
But then the third one is not the big change. And then just going back is
and you just don't get to draft it for very much too. So there's really no point.
Yeah, I like those changes too. Walter Bow would like to know what your thoughts are regarding Bant aggro in Modern if you don't have Tarmogoyfs and you make it work.
It seems fine. Like, if you have Hierarch and Bird, you just skip the 2-drop. Probably play some Pride Mages, I guess. But you go straight to Geist and Knight of the Reliquary, and then into Elspeth. And then all those cards play pretty well with Shining Shoal, which is kind of similar to what Wesco did at Worlds. He just had Shining Shoal on the sideboard of his Bant deck, and he had a bunch of, like, pretty expensive white cards, so they're trying to, like, double bolt your Knight or something, you just get to kill their guy. And I think that works out pretty well. Like, I mean, Goyf's a super good card, but in Zoo, when you're, like, bolting stuff, like, you know, the graveyard gets pretty big pretty fast. Like, Goyf will be a 3-4 relatively early, and then maybe a 4-5, but in Bant, like, that doesn't really happen. You know, I could definitely see playing less than 4 Goyfs in a Bant deck. So, I mean, playing 0 seems fine, too.
Jack Chapman would like to know, what made you first think of playing Pristine Talisman in Standard?
I played Pristine Talisman in the first Open when Innistrad was legal, I think. I played, like, Blue-Black Tap-Out, and I had a couple Pristine Talismans.
The first one was Indy. You played the Birthing Pod deck.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that I don't really consider that a real one because I only got to play 4 rounds and I had to go to a wedding.
Oh,
so yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, in the second one, I guess I played.
That's right. You did play Pristine Talisman.
So that was kind of in the back of my mind. And then for Worlds, I was on a mailing list with Ben Dempsey and Adrian Sullivan, and both of those guys were playing Pristine Talisman. And then Martel and Ian Spalding played it at Worlds. So it's seen a little bit of play, and these are all people I know. So it's like always in the back of my mind, and it's just a really good answer to Moorland Haunt. So it seemed to make sense. Worked out well.
History of that development right there. Another one from Teflon Jeff. How do you think Aether Vial is going to develop in Modern? And do you think it'll see some play now that Punishing Fire is not around along with Wild Myth?
Yeah, I mean, I think Vial is just a very, very powerful card. It's obviously good in Merfolk. You know, you get to keep playing guys and counter whatever you care about. And it's awesome with Snapcaster and any creatures like that. Eternal Witness. There's definitely some brews that you can make, but these decks aren't really going to be super powerful on their own. At least like the brew side of things. Like Merfolk's obviously fine, but you're not really going to steamroll a bunch of people. It's going to have to be like a metagame deck, so you're going to have to be pretty well prepared because you're just getting a bunch of value out of your stuff. You know, if like Dark Confidant is really good in the metagame, then maybe you play that. But if it's bad, like, you know, then your deck is kind of bad. Maybe Skuller's better. Like, you're just gonna have to figure it out. But like, Vial's obviously a good card.
Sure, it's a card that's stronger when you know which battle to pick because that's all it really does. It's just make you better at whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Cable Guy again. If you had to run control in Standard, would you stick with 4-color control or go down to 3 now?
I don't know. I was playing the 4-color deck last night, and mana base was kind of annoying me.
Wasn't feeling it?
Yeah, I mean, well, see, the thing is I added a bunch of weird cards. Like, I had Abolisher and Chandra, so that puts more strain on the mana base, and I didn't really have time to fix it, or, you know, play around with it and see what I like. So that kind of sucked. I like the look of Dan Unwin's Esper take on the 4-color deck.
Okay.
It's a lot of the similar cards, just like Sun Titan, Image, Pristine Talisman, Forbidden Alchemy, but instead of Ravings, he has Think Twice. Instead of Gutshot, he has Doomblade, but other than that, like, the decks are pretty much the same. And that looks pretty good. So, I don't know. You could definitely play something like that. If I was playing a control deck, it would definitely be with Sun Titan. I don't think I can get away from that guy.
Yeah, he seems pretty sweet right now. I know, I think Brad put up an article.
Yeah,
that Dan Unwin's deck.
Yeah,
right? Yep.
Yeah, that's on the site right now. It went up last night or the night before, so definitely check that out.
Yep. If you want to look more for 3-color control decks, there you go.